A former police officer who failed to confront a man who killed 7 people at a school in Florida in the United States 5 years ago has been cleared of wrongdoing.
The defendant in this case, the defendant is not guilty. So say we all this 29th day of June 2023 at Fort Lauderdale,
including child neglect after the shooting at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. The jury heard that despite arriving at the scene shortly after the gunman had opened fire, Mr. Peterson had chosen to wait for backup rather than intervene. He's thought to be the first US law enforcement officer to stand trial in relation to conduct during a school shooting. Our US correspondent, Peter Bowes, has been following the case.
Scot Peterson was the first armed officer at the scene, but instead of going into the building where the shooting was taking place, he actually retreated and set up a station about 25 metres away, and he said it was very difficult for him to determine where the shooting was taking place. He talked about a pronounced echo that he and other officers could hear, which made it very difficult at the time. He was subsequently fired from the police force and charged with child neglect, charges that the jury in Florida has been considering, and we now know he has been acquitted on those charges. And his response was very emotional. He was seen to be sobbing in the courtroom with his head on the table, later telling reporters that he felt as if he had got his life back. Also, a very emotional response from some of the parents who lost children in that shooting, saying in one case that they couldn't understand, presented with the evidence, how the jury reached their decision. Another describing Scot Peterson as a coward for his actions on that day. Now, this case also highlights another school shooting investigation which is still going on in the town of Uvalde in Texas, one of the deadliest school shootings in US history that happened a year ago there. 21 people were killed, 19 of them children. And for the past several months now, parents in that town have been calling for the law enforcement officers in that case to be held accountable, because it took them some 77 minutes before they confronted the gunman.